Every day, Ludmila and her 2 children, Vasily and Vova, make their way to the nearby hospital. Both children are very ill and are continuing yet another treatment at the children's cancer ward. They have already been in the hospital for a total of 2 years. The Center for Oncology in Boroviani is always full. Only those who actively partake in the fight for these children's lives have a chance to survive. When they found out that Vasily had leukemia, Ludmila's life and that of her family's changed forever.
Ну, знаете, это был шок.
It was a terrible shock when I found out. At first, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't help my son. I could only care for him.
Возможно, мой ребенок не столько даже был болен и не настолько переживал.
Chemotherapy is really horrible for a child because it is so painful, and all those strangers scared him.
Много чужих тетей и дядей. Я была 40 дней. 40 дней я была в стрессе.
His days in the hospital were a nightmare for me. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. I really didn't know what I should do or how I could live on.
Я не знала, как мне дальше жить. И как мне жить с этим.
Even today, it is really, really horrible.
Но это очень тяжело. Это очень-очень тяжело.
Unfortunately, cancer is rampant in Belarus, especially among children. Even 20 years after the reactor catastrophe in Chernobyl, the cancer rate is much higher than the international average. The pancreatic cancer rate in children alone is 87 times higher than it was 20 years ago. Oftentimes, there isn't even enough proper medicine to beat the illness. Next to the cancer center, which is located outside of Belarus's capital city of Minsk, is the SOS Children's Village, Boroviani. 4 of the houses in the children's village have existed since 1996, solely for the families whose children are being treated in the cancer center. This assistance is one of the main focuses for the SOS Social Center's work. During treatments, Ludmila and her family find accommodation in a small apartment. They actually come from a small village located hundreds of kilometers from the clinic. At first, Ludmila even slept on the hospital floor so that she could be by her children's sides. Not everyone is as strong or as enduring as she, however. Many parents in her situation are completely overwhelmed and give up. Some even abandon their children. Such is the story of little Vova. It is an unbelievable yet wonderful one.
И к Вовке никто не приходил, его никто никогда не навещал. К нему только приходил доктор.
Nobody visited Vova. Just the doctor and nurses would come to see him. They gave him medicine and everything else that one needs, but no one really cared for him. He never asked for anything. He would only cry when he was hungry. I asked, "Who is that child?" They told me that he has no parents. His mother literally threw him out. He was only 3 months old when she tossed him out the window into the snow. A neighbor found him in the morning on his way to work. He was half frozen and was sent to the hospital.
И он попал в больницу с обморожениями 3-й степени.
Vova survived, although the doctors determined that he had liver cancer. He came to the Center for Oncology in Boroviani. It was here that Ludmila met him during one of Vasily's treatments. She couldn't bear to see him so alone. One long night at the hospital, she made a vow.
Помоги нам, Господи, выйти, если мы отсюда выйдем.
I promised God that we would not leave Vova behind. I swore that if we came out of this alive, I would take Vova with me, and we would raise him as our son. One day, we really were released from the hospital, and we took Vova with us.
Лечение свое закончили, мы отсюда вышли и забрали Вовку с собой.
No one really knows whether Vasily and Vova will come through, but at the moment they are both in stable condition. We have survived until this day, and that is what is most important, says Ludmila.